It says live.
Right.
Mm,
Yep.
still,
It says
all right.
meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. We're on top of it.
Welcome
We're all
to the
just sitting there.
show. All right, yeah, I'm waiting for my 3, 2, 1. We are, and the other thing is, I like to vibe out to the theme song before we like really jump into it.
That's right.
We
We
don't
don't
get
have
the
that.
theme song, no Timmy today, so we apologize for the back and forth. Hopefully, we don't cut out in the middle of the show. I don't know what's going to happen, but welcome in. It is ATB show at the buzzer. ATBshow.com is Adam in Connecticut, Scotty in the Great White North of Maine, and Rubber Shoes in the LA studios. We are potentially going to have Corey joining us at some point in the near future, but we're still waiting to hear from him. I think he's maybe he's on the waiver wires or something. I'm not really sure. And Timmy's out for the next 2 weeks. So it's just the three of us at this point, could be four. Rubber Shoes, it's brought to you by AAA Work Trucks. Take it away.
Not too bad. AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet. AAA can take care of you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. And if you go to atbshow.com, you can always find the show. We bounce around from day to day, from week to week. Some weeks were Tuesdays, some weeks were Wednesdays. We're leaning more towards Tuesdays these days. I'm not sure why, just because of the scheduling and stuff. We all have busy lives. Well, some of us have busy lives. Not all of us have busy lives. Rubber Shoes is busy in the pool from time to time. It's not been that nice, Rubber Shoes. Are you out in the pool these days? Or what's going on?
I wasn't this weekend just because I had a ton of other stuff I was doing.
Yeah.
So, and it was a little cooler. Once
it's
the
chilly out.
remnants of the hurricane went by, it got a little cooler. So, but yeah, Sunday I was packed to the gills. Speaking of, did Scotty, you see Deadpool yet?
Yeah, saw it opening night.
Deadpool. Yeah. That's the talk of my house. I'm not a big Deadpool guy, but my daughters are really into it for some reason. So,
oh my god, that movie.
How old are your daughters?
12.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
it's close. It's close. It's on the edge.
Yeah.
It's on the edge a little bit, but it's all right. It's okay. Trust me, they can get Love Island on Peacock. They can watch Deadpool. I'm pretty confident about it. So, and I'm not a degenerate, and I watched all that crap when I was too young. So, well, maybe I am a degenerate. I don't know, but hopefully they don't turn out to be like me. Deadpool, good. Rubber Shoes, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Very good. Yeah, two
thumbs
up.
Very good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to go see it. I
have
always
to see
drag
it.
my feet on this stuff. All right, let's get into it. We have some loose ends to tie up about the Olympics. So why don't we start there, just because that's the historical stuff. I want to touch on just an unbelievable run by the U.S. men's basketball team, and by the way, the U.S. women's national team, and the fact it was kind of a cool ending actually for the U.S. I mean, the women's soccer team won, the men's basketball, and then the women's basketball all won. But the basketball teams, USA basketball, just showed up, showed out. The men won their 6th in a row. The women won their 8th gold medal in a row. Just absolutely unbelievable. Turn the floor over to you guys. Let's talk men's first. The Celtics probably going to have a chip on their shoulder to start the season thanks to the Olympics. So where do we go from here? Let's start with you, Scotty. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it was, garbage the way that Tatum got treated. And I do like the fact that he didn't shy from it when someone asked him about next Olympics in 4 years, where, he said this Olympics was tough for him personally on the court. He didn't, I thought he did a good job, like not, he didn't trash anything. Obviously they won the gold, and, I thought he handled it, really well in regards to the statement, because he could have gone off and ripped Steve Kerr a new one, and, maybe even some players or whatever. But, I thought he handled it, much more class than I probably would have. And I'm sure a lot of other players as well. But no, with the fact that I think we were all like kind of chatting a little bit during the Serbia game, where they were down big, and Steve Kerr stuck to his quote unquote guns, and I mean, he basically had Steph Curry just save his ass in that game,
right?
Essentially, and hit some incredible shots for them to come back and win. But we were all kind of talking about, like, if they lose this game, if they get, like, they have to fight for bronze at this point, that's Kerr would have been, I think, lambasted essentially. And the treatment of Tatum was horrible. It was just horrible. Happy for them to win, obviously. I'm pumped they won. I don't like the fact that LeBron got MVP. I mean,
I didn't even know they did an MVP for the Olympics. I
Me
was
either.
surprised by that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Steph the last 2 games, they would have won the bronze.
Exactly. Exactly.
And Steph also, he had a really good tournament too. He played well. Like he played really well. Now LeBron, I mean, I would say the only reason that I could say you give it to him is he played more minutes than anyone else. He was on the floor like the entire time. Like he was always on the floor, which, 39 years old or whatever he is, God bless. But at the same time, like Kerr, you have an unbelievable roster. People were comparing it to the 92 roster,
Right.
and it's a stacked roster of talent. And he really just did not even get into it. Go ahead, Billy.
You got to remember that every time it was announced on ESPN or MSNBC, I mean NBC, it was always LeBron James and the U.S. men's basketball team. So they were pushing him hard for the whole thing, and I just think it's ridiculous.
I think Rubber Shoes made the best point out of this whole thing, though. Like, there's a lot of takes about Tatum not getting played, but Rubber Shoes, you made the point about Leitner. Make that point again. I think you made it over text. I don't think you made it on the show.
In the 92 team, Christian Leitner played in every game, and he was a college player back then with all the pros, and they couldn't get Tatum was 5th in MVP voting this year.
He was all first team All NBA.
Yeah, it's like he's one of the 5 best players in the league, and you couldn't get him into every game. It's ridiculous.
Like, and the point about the Serbia games too, and he's gonna argue, Kerr's gonna argue matchups and stuff, but you're up 26 in one of those games, and then you're down 17 in the other one. Okay, so when you're up 26, Tatum is so horrible that you can't put him in for 5 minutes, and I mean, play garbage time for God's sakes. And then you're down 17. Clearly, nothing is working. What are we doing? I just don't understand it.
Matchups. It's like the only player that Tatum doesn't match up with against Serbia is Jokic.
Right.
He matches up. He's probably makes a better matchup against any other player in there. Like nobody's going to be able to guard him because of his length and the type of game he plays, just like LeBron and Durant. So, but they were pushing LeBron and Durant because it's probably, although I would not put it past LeBron, even if he's retired from the NBA, that he ends up on that 28 team in LA.
I highly suspect he will be on that team.
He is so much up. The more he plays, the more he drives me crazy of how he's all about him. He thinks he acts like he's this huge team player, but anyone who can see it knows it's all about him.
Right. You know what proves that point too is he showed up to the next day he was front row for the women's gold medal game, and it was him, Bam, and D White, and the 3 of them were sitting together, and he's the only one with the gold medal around his neck.
Oh my God.
We got it. Yeah. We got it. You got the
like that whole thing with when France was cheering one of the Olympians in the crowd, and LeBron starts doing like the crown thing, and thinking that it was talking about him, and I'm like, no, had nothing to do with you, man. They were saying not LeBron.
Did you guys see the post on Instagram or all the reels things that LeBron showing up for the after party and like pushing the kid out of the way, like back up, bro, and then he walks around the car to go into the club, and then he starts dancing in front of everyone. It's like, dude, you just disrespected a freaking 8-year-old.
I know, he's a young kid.
I did not see that. I'm gonna have to go look that up after the show. That's ridiculous. What do you make of D White not getting into the gold medal game? The guy was basically the utility knife for the team for the entire tournament, and then all of a sudden he just doesn't get into the gold medal game. I couldn't even fathom why he's not in the game.
I mean, and Drew Holiday didn't play very much either. Look, Kerr Kerr will never have to answer for these questions, right?
Right,
You have to ask him, but he'll never give you a straight answer, or the answer will be bullshit. It's a math problem. No, it's not.
right.
No, it's not. You could, I mean, I'll go to my grave saying that, and I love Anthony Edwards. He played like garbage.
Of course he
The
did.
second half of the tournament, especially.
Yeah.
He had one really good game, and outside of that, he was not very good. But I'll go to my grave saying that, Jason Tatum is way better than Devin Booker,
Oh, God.
and I get that Durant, it's like near the end of his time there, and I get that. But at the same time, like you're so many minutes to those guys, so many minutes.
Yeah.
He played favorites, and that's what it was. He
Yeah.
does not care for the Celtics, doesn't care for the players on the Celtics, and that was it. I think it's just black and white as that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's what he wanted to do. I was always a big Steve Kerr guy. I always thought he was,
Me too.
he's a great coach and a solid dude, but he can go fuck himself. After this one, like
Yeah.
I agree.
I just
frustrating.
I know.
hope, maybe the Jason Tatum we've all been waiting for with a chip on his shoulder. Maybe we get him this season. He's a great player, but I keep waiting for him to have that attitude. And maybe because they disrespected him like that, maybe he comes back with a little chip on his shoulder and we get like unlocked Tatum.
So here's my okay. So I understand what you're saying because he's a little muted. He's not the guy that's like, I'm the best. I know he sometimes says that, but it's almost like you don't believe it. But I have to say that if he was that guy in this past Celtics season, they wouldn't have won the chip. They just wouldn't have, because he had to defer to so many guys. Jaylen Brown became the guy in the finals because Tatum facilitated him being the guy. I'm not saying Jaylen Brown's not amazing. I'm not saying he didn't play well, but I'm just saying if Tatum is Jordan and Jaylen Brown is Pippen, I don't think they win a chip with Jaylen and Tatum, because I just don't think that you have. I think that attitude is a problem when you have two alphas like Tatum and Brown. So
No, but
I think it's the perfect fit.
I think he can have that attitude, but still like not be like, oh, I got to take every shot. Like,
Yeah,
I think
you
he
might be
just
right.
have a little more aggression, out there. Like he kind of is a little soft, but that sounds bad, but it's like I don't mean it in a bad way. Like I don't mean like he's soft and he gets pushed around. I just think that he could get a little, like we've seen it in games where he'll drive to the hoop no matter what and dunk on people and he gets that like rage in him. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that brings the team up even higher when he has that in him. And I don't think he's going to be one that, oh, I'm taking like Anthony Edwards, I'm taking over the whole team and I'm just going to take every shot. I don't think he would ever be like that. Like I think it would make the Celtics better because they might have to put three guys on him to stop him, and then that leaves even more people open.
I mean, it's an interesting point. I don't think we'll ever see that, to be honest with you, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
He's too
maybe this is the
back.
thing that pushes him over the top. I don't know.
Yeah.
One other thing on the men's side, that KD became the all-time leading scorer in men's or women's USA basketball history, which is, I love KD and it's an unbelievable feat. So gets me thinking, who is your favorite Olympian of all time, basketball Olympian of all time? And we'll start with, I'm springing this on you, so if you don't know yet, that's fine. But Scotty, I'll go to you first.
Jordan.
All right.
Always.
Really? Oh, two Jordans. Oh, I have to.
We're the two biggest Jordan fans there are. So
I know.
It's all these records that LeBron and KD have. It's because the Olympics were available to them their whole career. If you open that up to Jordan, Magic, Bird, all those guys, like who knows if they even come close.
And I mean, I'd love to. I mean, Larry, I'm going off of like stuff that I saw, and I watched the '92 team, but I saw Jordan in that. I didn't really mean Bird played well, but he did, at that
Well, he
point of his
wasn't the
career, he
same.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured
So like
Bird
my
and
favorite
Magic were
Olympian, like
past their
just,
prime.
yeah. And also just the influence that Jordan obviously had on the Olympics and on basketball globally, and it's just,
Mhm.
yeah, Jordan is by far the person to, that I think of when I think of like Olympics men's basketball.
All right. Well, I personally, believe it or not, and I am not a fan of this guy. I've never liked him, although in his retirement, I've liked him a little bit more as I've heard him talk more. But I mean, I think it's not the most creative answer, but I think Carmelo Anthony is probably one of, if not the greatest Olympics basketball player that the U.S. has sent over there, or sent to the Olympics. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination, or even Kobe or Larry or Magic or any of those guys. But I think from an Olympic standpoint, he always fit in perfectly with the team. I don't even know how many gold medals he has. I think he has 4, maybe. I think he won 4. But he was the leading scorer for quite some time. And just an unbelievable. If you watch him play in the international game, I never liked him in the NBA, but if you watch him play in the international game, I always thought he was the best guy on the floor in many cases. So I
Well, I
give
think he
my
has
nod to
might
Carmelo.
have 4 medals, but it's not gold because he was
Oh, he
a
was on the
part
team
of,
that won the
yeah,
bronze, right?
that won the bronze. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he was a part of the Redeem team and all that shit. But yeah,
And last thing on the men's game is that the great. I mean, to me, watching that shot, I know it wasn't the winning shot. That's that last 3 that Steph hit over the 2 defenders. But watching it live, I felt like it was probably one of the top 3 shots I've ever seen made in my entire life. I mean, that was an unbelievable 3-point shot. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I was watching it and I was like, I couldn't even, I had to rewind it like 3 or 4 times just to watch it.
yeah. Somebody on ESPN, I think it was like Greeny or someone said it was the greatest shot of all time.
Yeah.
And then somebody like just lambasted him about that. But because I don't think I would go that far. It was a great shot. I don't think it's the greatest shot of all time, but it's definitely one of, um, I think the shot that Steph hit against Oklahoma City was
Mm.
probably, in the Western Conference Finals,
Yeah.
that to me was probably a better shot than that one. But um, it was incredible. It was
Yeah.
incredible. And I think I will say this, that I think what diminishes it a little bit is that it's Steph, because the way that Steph does that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Curry just does that stuff. And I do think that some of those shots that he hit during the Olympics, not that it was much of a separator, or if, I mean, it was definitely close, but he's going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time. He
Yeah.
really is. Like guy's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous.
I just couldn't believe that shot. I mean, I didn't think back to that Golden State game now that I'm thinking about it, but I mean the game that you just mentioned, and
The Oklahoma City, yeah.
Oklahoma City. Thank you. Rubber shoes. Any thoughts on that, or are we moving on?
You can move on.
All right. Rubber
I
shoes wants
had
to
a
talk
bad
more
this
about LeBron James and how bad he
because
is.
because of the way they treated Tatum. I had a very bad taste in my mouth for that team.
Yeah,
I
totally agree.
there's not a lot of players on that team that I like, other
Mhm.
than probably Steph and Tatum. Like, I don't care for KD, I don't care for LeBron, I don't care for Embiid. So it was like halfway through that Serbia game when they were down, I was rooting against the USA from then on.
Wow, that's
I
unbelievable.
re- I, re- I really wanted Embiid to lose to France so bad. That would have been so great.
Embiid, okay, like I can't let this go either, because Embiid why is he so hyped up? He doesn't rebound the goddamn ball. Every time we needed a rebound, he's one of the biggest guys on the floor, and he's much bigger and stronger than almost everybody that's on the floor. Why is he not getting these rebounds? I mean, the only reason we came back is because other people rebounded the ball. It wasn't Embiid. And that's 90% of the reason you're out there. Like, sorry, I agree with you. I can't stand Embiid.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he pulled a KD going to the Golden State Warriors. I think I said that on the text. Like, he took the easiest route to
yeah,
get a championship, and it actually didn't go as probably as easy as he thought it was gonna go. But he hitched his wagon,
yeah.
hitched
I
himself
think
to
he made the right
the easy.
choice.
Yeah, And
Although I have to say, if he played for France, we would have been screwed. I mean, we would have
I know that's
real
the thing.
problems.
It's like
We had
if he
almost
had
no
played
size.
for them, that would have been, I mean, close to. I mean, it was a pretty close game as it was, but yeah, you figure if you put Embiid on the France team, they he probably didn't think that they were going to be in the finals,
Right.
or had a chance to be there. You know, I mean, Canada kind of was a big disappointment.
Yeah. Well, I think they're a little bit younger, right? So they'll be back. I'm sure they'll be back. Shea's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was first time in Olympic history that the men's and the women's team both played the same gold medal game, U.S. versus France. I mean, as much as I did not want us to lose to France, I thought it was pretty cool that France was in both gold medal games. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watched the women's game, but it was brutal. First of all, nobody could make any shots, and secondly, it was so physical. And that's one thing I love about the FIBA and the Olympic basketball is it's so physical and they let stuff go. But this game was like out of control. I thought people were going to get hurt. Did you guys watch any of it?
No. The only thing I saw was the ending.
Yeah,
where she banked the 2-pointer when they were down by 3.
Unbelievable shot.
Yeah.
Unbelievable shot. And if her foot was an inch back, we would have had overtime. But nonetheless, 8 gold medals in a row. Diana Taurasi, 6 gold medals. Most decorated women's Olympic athlete for basketball. So very impressive. Scotty, you wanted to mention the closing ceremonies real quick?
It was just weird. I don't know. Like, like Tom Cruise, just not, he didn't even skydive. What was it?
No, he just like belayed down.
Yeah, basically.
I don't even know what the hell you would call it.
Yeah, he belayed down. He just from high. It was nuts. Like,
yeah.
And I get like the Summer Olympics are going to be in LA, and so I think that's probably that's
right.
Yeah, they passed the torch to the next country. So that was
but it passed the torch to Tom Cruise, man. I will say it's impressive. I mean, obviously, I think everybody knows that he does his own stunts because he talks about that a lot. Which, God bless, it's awesome, good for you. And that was impressive because I sure as hell wouldn't have done it. But yeah, it was just weird. I was just wasn't expecting it. And honestly, I think the angle of the camera made him look shorter than he really is, like, which is hard to do. I feel like he looks tiny. He looks so small.
I know.
I know he's short, but holy God, like he looked really short. But
I thought it was funny when he was going through the line of all the athletes and they all wanted to take selfies with him and stuff. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Can we just get on with the rest of this thing?
It's Tom Cruise.
I know it's Tom Cruise, but yeah, it was interesting. I think the LA Olympics will be. Oh, you missed it? Rubber Shoes? Come on. Rubber Shoes is busy watching WWE while the Olympics are going on. So.
I mean, I think both Saturdays I watched a bunch of the stuff, but other than that, I didn't really get into it. And I was kind of mad that I missed the breakdancing, but then I watched it again, and I'm like, I'm kind of glad I missed it.
Didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It wasn't very good.
Did you guys get my text about the judge? Did you see my text about the judge? One of the judges' names was Kowloon.
Oh, it was Kowloon, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I did see that, yeah.
Funny. All right, so we're turning the page on the Olympics, and no NBA talk anyways for a handful of weeks probably. Training camp opens up in late September, early October maybe. So we'll move on to a team that is starting their season, the Patriots. I'm going to start here. And then we can go wherever you guys want to go. But Judon is rumored to be talking to other teams. And what do you think? Do you think we're going to lose him, or do you think they're going to actually pony up the cash and bring him back?
Yeah, teams are calling the Patriots. That's the latest report, basically, and asking if he's available and so on and so forth. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, I guess. It depends on how much. I know that he obviously had the public, bitch fest that he had 2 weeks ago, in front of everybody during the beginning of camp. How many feathers did that ruffle? You know what I mean? If it ruffled enough, then yeah, I could see him absolutely being out the door. He's never said he's not going to play on the contract that he has. So if they don't get a deal done, then, in theory, he still plays, even though it's his last year. But it depends on what they're going to get. There's a lot of holes on this team. Obviously, losing Judon would create yet another one. unless they think Uche is ready to take that role, but we'll see. But if you depends on what you're going to get for him. And I think the asking price I feel like would be pretty high because again, there's a lot of holes and a lot of needs on this football team for sure. So,
Do you think Judon is the most popular Patriot of the last few years? It seems to me that way. Like there's nobody on the offensive side of the ball. Gonzalez, people were thrilled about that guy, but he got hurt so quickly. I can't think of anybody else that people are like just love and buy his jersey and are super excited to have on the team.
I mean, 3 years ago, Mac was probably up there. You know what I mean? Especially after his rookie year. He was super popular, but they haven't really had, huge name guys. I would say that, between like maybe Duggar and Peppers, those guys are becoming pretty popular. If we're talking like last few years, obviously McCourty just retired, but yeah, I mean, he's up there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Judon is one of their premier names. They don't really have a lot of premier names right now. Unless you want to talk like offensive lineman or something, and David Andrews, woo, or something. But yeah, no, there's not a lot. There's not a lot out there. They got a bunch of kids. They're super young right now. The one thing I was talking to a friend about when Judon had the blow up. One thing we were debating or talking about would that have happened if Bill was running camp? Would Judon would have been like, reacting that way if Bill came over and had a conversation with him, or would Judon even been out there at the time?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have even been out there.
Yeah, no, that auto would have been behind closed doors. So, but it's Mayo's running it Mayo's way at this point. So it's definitely different. It's definitely different. So, but. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to gauge. I mean, they had some public dust ups and stuff when Belichick was here. Not many.
A couple of dust ups in over 20 years.
I know. No, it's not that much. I know this is his first year, and there's a dust up already. No, I get that. Rubber Shoes. Do you think if we lose him, will your prediction be 0-16, or is your prediction already 0-17? I mean.
No.
Okay. All right.
And actually might have gone up because I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of Aaron Rodgers, but he's hobbling with his other leg now. So he blew out his Achilles on one leg. His opposite leg is now, they were looking at him after practice the other day, like in the same spot. So he could be out for this season, and that's even with him there, I don't know how cohesive that team is. Well,
like him and Garrett Wilson got into it already a couple of times. Actually, it wasn't just like once. They've been into it a few times already, which they all say is a good competition. It's just it's just lively feedback or whatever the BS is for that. I do feel bad. I felt, I don't know if you saw today, JJ McCarthy, the rookie quarterback from Michigan, is playing for the Vikings now. He's had to have knee surgery. They don't know if he's out for the year or not.
No, it was just a meniscus, so he should be back in a month probably.
Yeah, they have no timetable, but I was like, oh, that sucks though for him.
So as far as Judon, if there is problems in the locker room with him after all this going on, you might as well get rid of him. Get what you can for him, because they're not on the cusp of winning a championship, so it's like you're not going to keep them, maybe 1-2 more years, if that, and just try to stop building for something, in the next couple of years where they can stop being relevant again.
Let me throw this out at you. Okay. I know we're not doing our predictions. We won't do our predictions for a little while. Not until the end of August, of course, or maybe.
I'm very disappointed that they only used May for one series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
We could talk about,
go ahead and talk about that,
and then I'll bring up the next thing. Yeah. So I should have asked this to begin with. What are your impressions of the first preseason game? We didn't even really get a chance to talk about it too much. So, go Go ahead.
It was weird that the broadcast team was the two McCourties and Zolak. I love Bob Succi. Yeah, I was hoping for him, but no, it was funny because when May went out, had his one series, and then Zappy came in, and they were booing, and one of the McCourty brothers was like, "Oh, I can't believe they're booing Zappy here." I'm like, "They're not booing Zappy. They're booing the fact that May played one series.
They only got to see him one series.
Like,
Yeah,
you know, it was stupid. That was pretty ridiculous. I do love I love the scrambling ability of Bazooka Joe. I think that was exciting to watch. You know, he was a lot of fun. It's obnoxious to read and hear about like people calling into like Boston stations and being like, cut Drake May, start Milton, he's better, you know, all that crap.
Yeah,
Like, get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. But it was I thought their defense looked decent. The problem is Carolina's terrible.
Yeah, Carolina.
You know, offensively, they're decent,
and they didn't
defense.
start their starters, so
No.
it's like the
There's
worst.
not much you can
than
tell from that
normal.
first game.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
it
just
really
it's
wasn't,
like
so.
you're okay. I understand. Hopefully, they're not planning on playing, or at least starting May at the beginning of the season. Maybe halfway through the season, he gets in and starts starting. But this is the time you want him to take as many reps as possible right now, and where they won series and then Zappy gets the majority of the playing time. Like it made no sense to me unless they're trying to showcase Zappy and trying to trade him instead of cutting him. That's the only thing that I could think of is that's what they were thinking, but it was a head scratcher.
I mean, Zappy looked like Zappy, to be honest with you. He didn't look great. He didn't look terrible. He was, you know, what he was. He's Zappy. You know, it's not like
I think I understand what you're saying, Rubber Shoes, about like you want to see him get as many snaps as he can, but they also have to balance that, right? Because if you're gonna start, you're not gonna start the guy for the first 8 weeks of the season, or whatever they decide to do. You have to get whoever is going to be your starter has to get reps too, right?
They only played one series, so they played Reset one series,
right?
May one series, and then Zappy, who in
Finished
all
the first
likelihood
half.
is gonna get cut.
Well, maybe they're trying to
got
make
the-
that decision. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, Rubber Shoes. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but I hear what you're saying. I think that it's it's one of those things where it's the first preseason of oh my God, my mind is slipping fast.
Like your
2024?
potential
That's it. No.
franchise quarterback who you're trying to develop. What better time than to when it doesn't matter? Like, who cares if he throws 4 picks in preseason? It's like you learn from those mistakes. But
Yeah, my only thought was that
just
they pulled a lot of the starting offensive linemen, you know, the few that were on the field for the first series with Brissett. So my only thought was maybe they didn't want him out there with, you know, a scrub offensive lineman and he gets hurt. It's again, it was dumb. It made no sense. I agree with Billy. I don't know why you're not doing that. I love the fact that Gronk came out and said that they need to cut Zappy because all he's doing right now is taking reps away from Milton and May.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's great. And I totally 110% agree. The fact that Zappy's still on the team confuses me and confounds me. And it's not like they cut Juju Smith-Schuster, and I feel like they had to incur a decent penalty, you know, for doing that, right? Because of his contract. I think they had to eat like 10 million or something. Like it was a chunk. And by the way, thank God, Juju, he sucked. I hated that freaking signing to begin
Just
with.
awful.
So bad. I hated that dude. Anyway, but Zappy, you're not gonna just let him go. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Let him go.
Does he get picked up anywhere? Probably not, right?
Oh yeah, he will.
Maybe.
No,
you think so?
absolutely. Yeah, I think so. He'll get picked up somewhere. I mean, have you looked around the league? Quarterbacks, like it's gone are the days where you have, you know, 3 like studs at quarterback in each division. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't exist right now.
You don't have Tom Brady as a backup anywhere.
Well, that's not that's not quite what I meant. I meant like when you look at like different divisions and stuff, like in the NFC South, where you had like, you know, Ryan and Breeze and Cam Newton all in one division or what, you know what I mean? Like you in the NFC West, you had, Manning and Rivers and so on. There was a definite lull and a massive gap in between, your top five quarterbacks and then the next mid-level tier and then the
Gotcha. I
bottom
understand
is
what
what
you're
I'm
saying
saying.
now.
Like it's
I
just
hear you.
there's a bigger gap in between the tiers at this point than there has been, since, during the Brady era. The Brady era, Brady played during some of the best quarterbacking in the history of the NFL. No question.
Except in the AFC East. I'm not trying to diminish. I hate when people do that, but to be honest, who played in the AFC East when Brady was
It's funny,
quarterback?
everyone does say that, and I come back and go, look at the teams, what they did outside of the division. They played pretty well.
No, obviously.
But I mean,
obviously.
right. Yeah, it's they play pretty well against other teams. I guess that's always my like, defense to that, or defense to that is like they beat other teams in the league. I mean, they just couldn't win the division because Tommy and the Bats were there. So
right. All right. Listen, let's do this quick thought experiment, and then we'll move on to the Red Sox, who actually are nipping at the wild card. So the Patriots start out at Cincinnati, they play Seattle, and then they go to New York. If they're 2-1 after week 3, are you feeling optimistic about the team at that point, or are you still feeling like rebuild year because the opposition is not? I know Cincinnati's strong, but Seattle and New York aren't exactly heavyweights. So are you feeling good at 2-1, or are you feeling like still uneasy about the team?
I mean, we're 2-1. I'm feeling great.
Okay.
I don't like, yeah. I'd be really happy with that, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Okay. But I'm feeling as far as moving forward, because then they go into San Francisco, and obviously the road gets a lot tougher.
It's a horrible, look, it's a schedule that keeps me up at night. All right. I don't want to like talk about the schedule right now, really, to be honest with you. So the schedule sucks. It's the hardest schedule in football. It's not even close.
Right.
And it's brutal, absolutely brutal. So yeah, I mean, if they're 2-1 in the first 3 games, yeah, I'm 6 to midnight, man. I'm to the moon. So and hoping that they can take momentum into whatever game, what I mean, the Niners or whoever else is next, and keep it rolling. But it's I'm not there yet. I can't play this mental game right now.
Fair enough.
You're messing with me too much.
I'm sorry.
Open my next beer.
Rubber Shoes, you have anything to say on that, or are we moving on to your favorite team in Boston, the Los Angeles Lake? I mean, the Boston Red Sox.
If they started out 2-1, I'd be very shocked. So I guess I'd be pleasantly pleased and surprised.
Well, you don't think they can stack up against Seattle and New York, the Jets? I mean, if it was the Giants, we'd feel a little bit better, but
their offense.
Giants are the worst rated team in Madden, by the way. New Madden came out.
As they should.
New Madden came out. I got the 3-day early release, so it's not out for everybody. But
what, you have a VIP release? What
well,
I don't even understand.
You can
what
pre-order. If you pre-order, you get the deluxe package with the NCAA, which I did. You get 3-day early access.
Oh,
and
so I can't even believe we got you for the show tonight. I thought you'd be playing Madden.
It's okay. 2 seconds on this. It is by far the best version of Madden that has come out in 10 years. It's so much better. So much better.
You've had it for how long?
Since last night. I started yesterday afternoon. It downloaded around like 4:00.
How long have you been? How many hours have you played so far? I don't want to out you at Liberty Bibbity, but
a few.
Okay, fair enough. Rubber Shoes, are
you
on the VIP list?
You finished the season already?
No, no.
You had to think about it.
No, because I haven't finished it. Like there's so much new stuff, and they brought back Team Builder, which is awesome. So I created a team, and you can't move them to like anywhere in New England. Unfortunately, you can't unless I guess you get rid of the Patriots, but you have to replace a team. So I got rid of Washington because nobody cares about Washington. Yeah. And then I put a team in Canton, Ohio. Pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
that's cool.
But yeah, I've done a bunch of stuff like that. It's amazing, and it's Yeah, I'll if you want, Adam, I'll send you some pictures, and you'd be like, "That's a video game."
Yeah, well,
Uh,
did feel that way. That screenshot you sent me.
yeah, but it's amazing. It's awesome.
That's crazy. Rubber Shoes, you're not a VIP on the Madden list, are you?
I don't
No,
play
you're not. You don't do the
anything.
video
No.
games. Say I don't even have Madden for the Switch, which you'd probably tell me don't even bother buying it if it's on the Switch, but which is probably
Yeah.
what will happen.
Yeah,
All
Tyler
right.
plays. So he hasn't asked me for the Madden yet, but he does have a college football game.
On what? He has the PlayStation or
PS5. Is that what
okay.
it's at now?
What are you What are you running, Scotty, up there?
Oh, well, I got both versions. I got the 5 and the 4 because Nathan likes to use the 4 back here.
You
So I
don't
have
do
the PS.
Xbox though. You just
No,
do PS.
I don't have it. I have an Xbox 360 still kicking around, but
Okay.
I don't do the Xbox One.
Wow. All right, let's move on to the Red Sox. Rubber Shoes, I'm going to let you start off. 2 games back from the last wild card spot. How are we feeling at this point? They just won.
Well,
What they
last
win
night
last
was
night?
good.
Yeah.
This weekend I went to the game on Saturday. This
Oh,
weekend
right.
was
How was
kind
that?
of it was a beautiful day.
It was a rough
I
loss.
tell you,
It says all you
we
need to
have
know.
not. So 3 games we've gone to this year, and they have not played well. The 3 games
It's the
we've gone
juju
to.
that you bring into Fenway, man.
Yeah,
It really
it's
is the juju. Did you outlay any cash for this trip to
I did
Fenway?
not.
Or
Nope.
okay, so all right, so you
I
still have
still
not
have
yet.
spent $0 at the souvenir stand or inside the park this
Well, tell
year.
me about the shirt, though. You were saying about the shirt
Yeah,
was
so the
expensive.
I was gonna get a Jaron Duran, which maybe it was a good thing I didn't get the Jaron Duran t-shirt at this point, but it was just for a regular t-shirt with the
I still love
name and number on the back was $60.
Oh my god,
I
that's
was like,
bananas.
Wait,
yeah,
like the old school, like Majestic one T-shirts with
yep,
like
yep.
the
Mhm.
$60.
Red
Used to get them
Sox
for
on
like
the front. Yeah, you can
20,
get it for
25 back in
30.
the
Yeah,
day.
you can still get them for like $30 online
Yeah,
That's
through
nuts.
the clubhouse. But yeah, the prices at Fenway at the souvenirs shops at Fenway. I mean, hats are like 40 something bucks.
Oh my
And
god,
it's like
that's
you can get them
insane.
from Lids for I mean, hats are more expensive than that you can get them for almost most of the stuff you can get for almost half price. But they try to suck all the people in that go to the game and want to. I don't. Yeah, I was like, yep. I was all ready to do it, and when I saw the price, I was like, no way in hell.
When you and Mother Shoes go to a game, are
Yep.
you the type that like loads up on beer and food? I know probably not beer, but like food
Oh,
and snacks and stuff, or do you just go for the game and you're
I
out?
told
You don't
you
even.
we have not spent a dime inside the park.
You literally have bought like not even a water.
Nope.
Wow, good for
We
you.
we
That's
eat we
impressive.
eat before we get there. So this Saturday we ate at Wahlburgers,
Okay.
and the last time we went the Yard House, we ate at the Yard House. So
What's nuts is you probably go to Wahlburgers for half the price that you would go for lunch at the park, right?
oh yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
without a
yeah,
doubt.
that's
And it's so nice because like we're next to the parking garage. If you park down there,
yeah.
it depends on where you park. But I like it because it's right next to the parking garage. You walk out, bam, hit Wahlburgers up, and then you just
Gorgeous
whatever.
day though, right? Rubber Shoes. It
Oh,
was
it's
a sun,
beautiful.
beautiful
Yeah,
day,
they
right?
so we had the remnants of Debbie in the morning, and that cleared out and was beautiful, sunny. Uh, it was a little. I think it was probably the 4th inning. The shade finally came over us. It was a little brutal at first with the sun. It was hot. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
beaming down, but there was a nice breeze, so it wasn't brutal. But I was waiting for that sun I mean the shade to get over to our seats.
I will say, and it's been so long since I've been to Fenway. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but there's nothing like a summer day. Like, it
Oh,
doesn't matter how bad the Red Sox are. There's
that's
just
why
nothing like that.
it's been so hard. Like this year, the team's actually halfway decent.
Right.
but going into the season, it's like the ownership's not putting anything into it. I have a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want to pay to go. So luckily, I get tickets for free, so I've been able to still go and not have to pay for tickets the last couple of years. But it is the one of the best things in the summertime to go to
No
a
question.
game, and especially on a beautiful. It I think that it was a 4 o'clock game, kind of a weird time because of the way the sun is there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
they
think
almost never have 4 o'clock games. It's
yeah, it
usually
was
1 or 7, right?
so when the game started, the batters were in the shade, and
Mhm.
that's like the toughest when the pitcher's in the sun and they're in the shade.
Right.
It's tough to pick up the ball. So by the time, fourth inning, they were both in the shade and things got a little better. But I mean, they just the started pitching figure. So Paxton, who we just got at the trade deadline, gets hurt. He's going to be out for who knows how long. Cutter Crawford, Tanner Houck, Bayo. Oh God, they've all pitched more innings than they had in any other season. So that's what's happening. They're pitching. They're pitching before the All-Star break was like one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Now it's since the All-Star break, it's the worst in the league.
Well, it's also their bullpen has not been spectacular either.
Yeah,
their bullpen because they've had to get into them a little bit more, and they're missing.
Paxton getting hurt. So the Saturday, that's another thing. They because they were pushing Pavetta. Pavetta should have started Saturday, but they wanted to give him a little extra rest. So it was a bullpen game on Saturday. Paxton gets hurt after 5 pitches on Sunday. That turns into a bullpen game. The bullpen's getting taxed. It's just not a good combination, but they pulled out a good one last night.
Bale pitched really well last night.
Yeah.
He had himself in jams and got himself out of jams all night long. You know what I mean? Through the first six innings. And I thought he pitched really well.
A big thing they were talking about this year is the pitching coach, Andrew Bailey. I believe it's Andrew Bailey. I know it's Bailey. And
it's Andrew Bailey.
So instead of his philosophy is to do like opposite of what most pitchers, they start with fastballs, get ahead in the count, and then they go with the off-speed stuff. Well, Bailey's philosophy is to do the opposite, and they think that the rest of the league is catching up to them to what they're doing, because I guess so over the weekend there was, I think, 8 home runs. 6 of them were hit off-speed pitches. Yes.
Any coincidence? The fact that that's Houston that might be doing that. Yeah. I mean, out there friggin' smacking something. Here comes a breaking ball.
So Saturday with Alvarez gets up, I tell my wife, I'm like, this guy's a beast. He's and sure enough, he hits a home run in his first at bat. I'm like, told you. Then he hit another one. He had 2 in that game.
Oh wow.
I mean, they only lost by a run on Saturday, so they kept bouncing back, but it was a tough game.
I think you went to the best game out of the 3. They got swept.
Yeah. They got killed.
I actually was nervous last night when Seager hit that bomb. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, does he kill us? That's like 4 home runs in 2 series, and it's only been 1 game this series.
Yeah.
He had 3 just.
And when we were in Texas last week.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's not so. By the way, I was laughing because you're like, it was a beautiful day on Saturday, which it was. Yeah. Perfect day. And my wife and I haven't had a date night since freaking Nam. All right. So it's been a really long time. So my nieces, my brother's daughters came down from Wells and watched Ava and, put her to bed and all that. And so we got out. I knew we left early. And we didn't really know. We had some ideas of what we were going to do. One of which was like as kids, not kids, well, teenagers or whatever, youngins, we used to cruise the strip in Hampton all the time.
Let's go.
So we're like, all right, let's start there. It's a horrible idea. First of all, it was like wicked expensive to park. It's like $30 to park, and like what the hell. And it was pretty toasty. It was nice, but it was still pretty toasty. And so and plus just way too many Canadians and Speedos. The combination is not good.
Not in Hampton? or did you go somewhere else?
No, Hampton. Oh yeah, a lot of
Really?
speedos.
So
Wow.
you're
Yeah.
cruising the strip in Hamden. I mean in Hampton for your date night.
Well, we were gonna get out and like see if there was any live music and get some food
Oh, got
and
it,
like
got it.
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I missed that part. Okay, go ahead.
So, needless to say, we're like, well, there's a new restaurant that opened up at the Brook Casino in Seabrook. So, which is true. We hadn't been there yet. And so we went over there and we shot over there. And let's see if this will come up. But Scotty kind of hit
Let's
in the middle of the day.
go.
Yeah, I don't know how well that's coming up.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's that?
14.
1400?
Yep.
1475.
And then 1475. And then on this one was another. I don't know if you can see that one or not.
That one
probably
is
not
hard
as
to see.
much.
71. So
Yeah, $670. So basically, it was like
let's freaking go.
it was like just those two wins alone were like $2,000. It was pretty fun. Yeah,
Best date
we
night
had a
ever.
good time. Yeah, right. It was awesome. It was a profitable date night.
Did you
for
see
sure.
where they were putting the Kowloon in there?
You know what, Bill? I didn't even look. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even look. Because I was watching the Sox. I had actually sat down. They added a new area where there's a bunch of now blackjack like video tables where you get blackjack and roulette and whatever you get to choose. And so I sat down there because the Sox game was like right in front of me. And so I sat down there and I was playing blackjack for quite a while watching the game. And watching my wife just walk back and forth from like, different sides of the casino, going to the different slots and stuff. And so I didn't even look. The Lucky's, the restaurant that they have there, it's nice. It's really nice. The food's decent, but I didn't see where they were going to put Kowloon. I'm really pissed I didn't look for that. Shit. I'll look for it next time.
Yeah.
So
sure
when's
we'll go
the
again.
next date night?
Yeah.
10 years? 10 years from now?
Oh man, I hope not. It's honestly, we thought we were driving as we were heading like just leaving the house. We were trying to remember, and I think it was last fall. Like it was around like October, November of last year.
Well, didn't you guys go down to Foxwoods where she hit?
No, she went to Mohegan. We don't go to Foxwoods. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm snobby. Mohegan. She went to Mohegan, but she went down there with girlfriends. Yeah. I was up here still. So, and then I went down with for my birthday in January. I went down with Stevie, and Chernick came up from Virginia with his girlfriend and stuff. And so yeah, so we do a lot of like separate gambling, but yeah.
Why are
I
you
like Foxwoods better because Foxwoods has the go-kart track. They have the outlets there.
Yeah, but we're down there
to other things to do.
Burn money.
Yeah, see, we don't gamble much, like, so we like the people watch and go to all the other stuff there.
Scotty, will you stay over when you go down, or do you go back the same night?
Mohegan?
Yeah.
Oh no, we definitely stay.
You stay. Okay.
Yeah.
So will you go on a weekend, or do you go during the week, or what do you do usually?
It depends. So usually sometimes we've actually shocking. I get a lot of comps and stuff, between my wife and I. So they'll be like, hey, we got a free room for you on this day. So if we can work it out. And a lot of the times that's not a Saturday. Sometimes hers was, I think, Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
So hers worked out pretty well for her comp that time. But usually mine is usually on like a Friday or something like that. So if I can shoot down there, I'll do that. But it all depends. But
I think we need to revive the Mohegan trip.
1,000%.
Don't you agree? I mean, at some point,
how far away from Mohegan are you?
I'm just an hour away. An hour and 15. It's not bad.
That's not bad.
I think I'm gonna
powwow
with the.
I'm probably an hour and a half.
Okay.
Oh, really? That's not bad either.
Yeah.
But I might want to do like an overnight. Don't you think? Or no?
Oh yeah.
Because you're pretty far away.
For me, it's
like 3 hours, maybe
just under 3 hours. It takes
okay.
All of my brother watched Avengers Endgame. He started it like right a couple of years ago, right when we left or right when we went down. We left, and basically the movie ended when we pulled back into my.
Oh wow,
my driveway.
that's crazy.
So whatever that is, like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. That's so it's not terribly far, especially considering
not impossible.
What I just drove the other, a couple of weeks ago when the boys and I went to Niagara and stuff. It's not 2.5 hours. I could do that.
All right. Well, we have to noodle this a little bit because we should definitely do. I'm not like a big gambler, but I think Timmy's not much of a gambler either. So we can just kind of go and hang out. Maybe Jordan's is at Mohegan, right? So maybe we do Jordan's
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to make that happen. We've already hit Kowloon once. We did some sort of Mexican up in Portsmouth, and then we'll have to do Mohegan. I know it came out bad, but we'll have to do Mohegan at some point.
Yeah,
Listen,
we haven't done Maine or Connecticut yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we can either one. Where do we go in Maine when we make our way up there, Scotty?
Portland's great.
Either
Portland's
Portland.
nice.
There's a lot of good places around where I am in York and stuff too. So
Okay.
yeah. It depends.
Right.
On where you want to go. There's a lot of good stuff.
We should see about selling our live tour and see if we can get it paid for. I don't know who's going to sell it, but somebody should. All right. Before we go, yeah. Before we go, Rubber Shoes. I wanted to bring this up because it's early. I know it's early, but I wanted to bring this up because I'm not sure if you've heard the lineup for the Big E this year. Have you heard the lineup for the Big E yet?
Oh, some of the concerts.
Yeah. Have you heard?
Yeah, I've seen Ludacris, Public Enemy.
Yes, Public Enemy. I can't believe Public Enemy is going to be at the freaking
and
it's
so
absolutely
I threw
insane.
both of those out, and my wife's like, "I'd rather see Ludacris than Public Enemy." I'm like, oh, that hurts so bad.
You should go to.
Are you still married?
Yeah, seriously. All right. Well, we could talk more about the Big E because I don't even know what new foods they have. I'm sure they have a million new foods too. But you guys usually go up at least once, right? Or do you only go up?
Oh, yeah. No, we go once. Yeah.
When does that happen?
I think it starts like September 18th is the first weekend.
I thought it was towards the end of August. That's why I looked it up so we could talk about it tonight. But
no, it's September to like the first weekend of October.
Yeah. I'm thinking about bringing the girls up there this year. I'm not sure I'll bring them to the Public Enemy concert.
I already got the tickets. I got the Flash $10 tickets on sale. I already got 4 tickets for.
Oh wow, really?
For the wife and the son and his girlfriend. So,
is that still going on, or is that was just a?
It's just I got an email. It said, "Oh, flash sale," like how you told me last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a same thing. So I bought them probably in April or May.
Well, I did like the tour, the Rubber Shoes tour of food. So hopefully we can get you to do that again this year because I was living vicariously.
29th. Wow, it's a
long thing.
They do so they actually end in September this year.
They do like a Maine day. They'll do a Connecticut day. They do Massachusetts day. All of
each New England.
Maybe they don't do Massachusetts, right?
No, they do every New England day, New England State Day, and each state has its own building there.
Right. Because it started out as
where is it located?
In Springfield?
I think it's actually West Springfield.
Springfield. Okay.
But it's.
I mean, we could also make a day out of that and go to that. That would be fun. We could all go see Public Enemy.
Maybe that. Yeah, maybe I'd see that. I'm not getting on any carny rides, dude. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Did anybody see
the carny rides?
We go there for the food.
Yeah.
That's about it. And there is a MGM in Springfield.
There you go.
Casino.
Do that too.
It's
not that
look
great.
My calendar.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about the Big E as we get closer, I'm sure, because I want to know what Rubber Shoes is looking forward to on the food front.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the new stuff yet.
The new stuff. I'm sure there's a million things like a burger on a donut, on a croissant, on whatever it is, deep fried. But I'm sure
there's always the stuff that I always liked, like that deep fried taco I'm getting every year from now. Ever since they started it. That is like my favorite thing.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'm hoping that we hear more about the new stuff as we get closer. Yeah. Timmy will be not back next week. Corey is MIA. We were supposed to have him on the show today. So hopefully next week he will be back. Scotty and Rubber Shoes and I will hopefully be back to check in with the Patriots as they limp their way through the preseason and the Red Sox. And maybe we'll talk more about Mohegan Sun and Scotty's incredible winning streak at the casino in Hampton. So go to atbshow.com to check out all our socials, and we will catch you again next week. Keep an eye out for the show because it might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday, could be Thursday. Who knows? For everybody, have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. atbshow.com.